Before we begin the story of David, the shepherd king, who became king of Israel, we first must go back to around about the time 1040 BC, into the life of Samuel, prophet and God's chosen leader of his people. Samuel had led wisely, and for a time Israel was a great nation. But then the people began drifting away from God. The stories they'd heard about Israel's greatness were just that, stories. Well, Samuel was getting old and had appointed his sons as judges. But his sons, however, were dishonest. They took bribes and perverted justice. The people were disillusioned. Something had to be done about it. So the elders from the tribes of Israel held a meeting at Ramah, a place in the hill country. There,
Samuel, you are getting old and can no longer lead us. Samuel, the sons will take your place, are scoundrels out to fleece us. Samuel, your sons are not like you.
your grapes and your olives too, and he'll tax you mercilessly. Your goats will be his and your best sheep too. Do you know, do you understand? Do you know, please answer me.
Who really cares, Samuel? Why should we hear your excuse? A king would be better than both of your sons, corrupted, dealing out justice. We need a king, Samuel. Give us a king, Samuel. A man of strength who will lead us in war, and we will be a great nation.
Samuel listened with a heavy heart. His people would not give in.
The day will come when you cry like a child, but your Lord won't be listening then. Your Lord won't be listening then. All right then, I will give you your king, but remember these words I say. With God as my only witness to this, you will remember this day. You will remember this day.
Not far away there lived a man whose son was said to be the handsomest man in all the land. So strong and straight was he. His name was Saul, and he worked hard for his wealthy family, until one day some troublesome mules went a wandering far away. Those to track them down with a servant he prepared to travel through the hills of Ephraim, but the donkeys were not there. They reached a land of Shalisha, then on through Shalim, and through the land of Benjamin, but saw no sign of them. So as they stopped outside a town, and Saul said,
Let's go. My father will be worrying, for 3 days we've been gone.
Master, in these towns there is a man of special powers. He just might know when your donkeys are besides with countless smiles.
We have nothing to give him. Our food is already gone.
I have a coin we can give him. Come on, we're wasting time.
What's his name, this extraordinary man, this man of special powers?
Master, his name is Samuel, and he's a man of God. He is a man of God.
Now God had spoken to Samuel and said,
Tomorrow at this hour, a man will come to you. This is the man I have chosen to be king over my people.
So when Saul was walking towards Samuel, the voice came again.
That's the man I told you about. He
seek a man named Samuel, a man of special powers.
My friend, my name is Samuel, and God gives me the answers. Come feast with us this night, I'll tell you all. The donkeys you have lost are found.
How could you know what I was looking for? I uttered not a sound.
Do not worry anymore. Israel's wealth will soon be yours.
Why say such a thing to me? I am just a humble man from a humble family.
Samuel did not answer him, but led him away to be fed. Then bright and early the very next day, he called them from their beds. With a jar of fine oil he asked all to kneel, and he poured it over his head, saying,
God has instructed me you will be king over all of Israel. Over all of Israel.
So will be king, God has ruled. So will be king of Israel. His hand was tougher than Samuel's sons, who lead the people with deception. So will be king, God has ruled. So will be king of Israel. His hand was chosen, only the one, and he will lead a great nation. Saul stood still, his mouth open wide. How could he believe such a thing? But Samuel said he'd give him the proof. There'd be signs and he'd know the truth. Everything was just as Samuel said, but Saul felt a stirring within. And in 7 days' time the tribes converge for the casting of lots to begin. For the casting of lots to begin. We need a king, Samuel. We need a king for Israel. A sacred lot we've chosen our man, and he will lead us as a nation. So will be king, God has ruled. So will be king of Israel. His man was chosen, long live the king. Now hear our glad proclamation. So will be king, God has ruled. So will be king of
Well, Saul was a good soldier, and he won many battles against the Philistines. Samuel was well pleased. Here at last was a strong leader. However, the Philistines gathered larger forces around the Israelites. And on one occasion, Saul had gathered his forces together at Gilgal, ready for battle, and was waiting the required 7 days for Samuel to come and offer a sacrifice for their victory. As the 7th day approached, Saul's men began to fear for their lives, and many of them fled into the hills for safety. Saul called for the sacrifice. He could wait no longer, and as they gathered around the altar, there was a feeling of uneasiness. When Samuel arrived to see the sacrifice already burning, he was horrified.
What have you done, Saul? Why didn't you wait?
We waited as long as we could. My soldiers were all deserting me.
should have waited. I tell you, if you disobey God, he will find one after his own heart, and the kingdom will no longer be yours.
Nevertheless, in spite of Samuel's reprimand, the battles did continue and victory was theirs. Saul returned to Gibeah, his hometown, and there he built a mighty fortress. He recruited an army of strong, fearless men, for there was always the threat of war from the hostile tribes around them. The Philistines, the Ammonites, the Amalekites, just to name a few. One day, Samuel came to Saul with the instructions that he was to strike down the Amalekites, sparing no one, man or beast. So Saul gathered his forces, and victory was his. But he spared the king, and he brought home some of the best animals from the Amalekite flocks. Saul was well pleased with himself, and when he met Samuel on his return to Gilboa, he laughed heartily.
We've done as you've asked. We've defeated the Amalekites.
But what of these sheep and oxen that you have with you?
We brought them back as offerings to God.
Burnt offerings? What do you think God prefers? Burnt offerings or an obedient heart? You've disobeyed again, Saul.
I was afraid of what my people would do if I did not let them share in some of the spoils of war. Surely you can understand that, Samuel. Come with me now and we will worship God together. Wait!
God will tear your kingdom from you, Saul, just as you've torn my robe.
I have sinned, I know, but I am still king. Please, Samuel, come and worship with me.
So Saul and Samuel worshipped together for the last time. Then, with a heavy heart, Samuel returned to his home in Ramah, and Saul shut himself in his fortress at Gibeah. They never saw each other again. Well, a deep despair came over Saul. There were days, sometimes weeks, of mad, irrational behaviour. The time of sorrow had begun. Finally, the Lord said to Samuel,
You have mourned long enough for Saul. I have rejected him as king of Israel. Now I want you to take a vial of oil and go to Bethlehem. There you will find a man named Jesse ben Obed. I have selected one of his sons to be the new king.
But how can I do that?
Take a calf with you and say that you have come to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Invite Jesse and his sons, and I will tell you which of his sons to anoint.
So Samuel did as he was instructed. He went to Bethlehem. There he was met by the elders.
Samuel, what is wrong?
Why have you come?
Nothing is wrong. I've merely come to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Please come and worship with me. Oh, and I need to see Jesse ben Obed and his sons.
So Jesse and his sons were summoned. And when they arrived, Samuel took one look at the eldest, Eliab, and thought,
Surely this man must be the one, Lord.
Don't judge a man by his outward appearance, Samuel. Look into his heart.
And what about Abinadab?
No, he is not right either.
And Shammah?
No, he is not the one.
and so it was with each of Jesse's sons until 6 had passed by Samuel.
Jesse, are these all of your sons?
Well, no. There is the youngest one, David.
He's in the fields with the sheep. Samuel, what is this about?
Jesse, I asked to see all of your sons. Please send for him at once. We will not sit down to eat until he arrives.
Meanwhile, back at the fortress at Gibeah, King Saul was becoming more and more depressed. The Spirit of the Lord had left him, and his moods were black, sometimes even violent. His family and his servants wondered what on earth they could do to help him. Then, one of his servants had an idea.
It grieves me to see you. Your heart is defeated. We must try to help you. The sickness overtakes you. The fever they shake you. You say that your God has now forsaken you.
A helpless and a good one. Go, find him, find this David.
A messenger sent out.
Wonder what his life. This boy who plays the harp. Can he help his king and make him well again? Rid me of this torment, make my madness fall. Help me understand the reason why. I wonder if it's true that music soothes the soul. Can he rescue me and make me whole again? God has sent this torment for I disobey. Can he bring back sweetness to my soul?
Someone's watching all.
Play, David, play.
Saul began to growl.
Sing, David, sing.
Oh, David was not
Help me, I beg of you. Sing for your king. Sing, David, sing.
So David sat before the strangers, closed his eyes and began to pluck the strings of his harp. Then he began to sing.
Peaceful is the valley where the sheep can safely graze. Watchful are the eyes that never shift their silent gaze. High among the quiet places, God can still be found. He is never far away, he whispers every sound. Even in the tumbling streams that gurgle on their way, in the stars that light the night sky, showing us the way. Peaceful is the valley where the sheep can safely graze. Watchful are the eyes that never shift their silent gaze.
My boy, you've transformed me. Where did you learn to sing like that?
I spend all day in the hills with my father's sheep. I sing to them, sire.
You sing to your sheep. Then I will be one of your sheep. Will you sing for me when I need to be calmed?
If that is what you require of me, sire.
Then you are now in the king's service. My dear Hedwin, what do you think? Mikhail, Jonathan,